All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going right into the center of the political universe in Washington, D.C.
Ooh,
I know,
exciting.
right?
Yeah.
The House Speaker election.
I was glued to the TV.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It was like watching some crazy political drama unfold
Yeah.
live, backroom deals and all that.
Absolutely. It was wild.
And lucky for us, we've got a great article to break this whole thing down. It's from The Atlantic, published just a few days ago on January 3rd, 2025.
Oh, nice and fresh.
Yeah, piping hot. The title is "The Republicans Barely Elect a Speaker."
So,
None of that.
that right there, it kind of gives you a sense of how this thing went down.
It really does.
Where
The Republicans have the majority in the House, right?
they do.
So you'd think picking a speaker would be a slam dunk,
You'd think so, right?
but apparently not.
No, not this time. It took them 6 rounds of voting to finally choose their leader.
6 rounds.
6? That's almost unheard of in modern times. Yeah, you're right. Like, how does that even happen? I mean, usually the speaker election is pretty straightforward. The party with the majority picks their person, and everyone just votes along party lines.
You got it. It's like clockwork. But this time around, something was different. Clearly.
Clearly, some serious divisions going on there.
Yeah, some big rifts within the Republican Party. And the article goes into detail about all the different factions and their priorities. You can almost feel the tension through the page.
Ooh, I bet.
Yeah.
So who ended up winning this chaotic election?
So the victor, after all that political wrangling, a relatively unknown congressman from Louisiana by the name of Mike Johnson.
Mike Johnson. Doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, I don't think he was on anyone's radar before this whole thing.
Yeah.
But the article calls him a compromise candidate.
Compromise candidate. So what does it tell us about him and the state of the Republican Party?
Well, it seems like he wasn't anyone's first choice, but he was someone that the different factions of the party could at least kind of stomach.
Yeah. So like the least offensive option? Like when you and your friends can't decide on a restaurant, so you just end up at that place nobody hates, but nobody really loves either.
Exactly. The pizza place with edible pizza, that's all we can agree on.
Exactly. So he wasn't pushing a super strong or specific agenda, and I guess in this case that might have actually helped him.
Yeah, it's like his lack of a clear platform was his secret weapon. Kept everyone just calm enough to vote for him.
Fascinating. So what does this mean for how the House is actually going to operate now?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially considering some of the things the article mentions about Republicans pushing for some pretty aggressive tactics when it comes to investigating the Biden administration.
Ooh, yeah, that's a big one. The Speaker of the House basically controls which investigations happen and what they focus on.
Right. So how Johnson handles this is going to be very telling, right? It's a lot of power. And he's going to have to navigate these competing pressures from within his own party. Some are going to want him to go full steam ahead with these investigations, while others might be a bit more cautious.
Yeah, talk about a tightrope walk. Poor guy.
I know, right? Imagine being a brand new representative walking into this situation.
Yeah, talk about trial by fire. You'd need a serious crash course in political maneuvering just to survive.
No kidding. So what do you think is the biggest takeaway from all this?
Well, I think it's clear that this wasn't just about picking a leader. This whole election really exposed some deep divisions and different priorities within the Republican Party.
Yeah, I totally agree. The article focused a lot on how the kind of dramatic back and forth and the multiple rounds of voting. But the real question now is the what. What's going to happen next? What policies will Johnson prioritize, and how will he handle these internal conflicts?
Yeah, and how will this impact the relationship between the House and the Biden administration? Lots to watch for in the coming months.
Definitely. It's like this election just cracked open a window into the inner workings of the political machine. And it's going to be fascinating to see what shakes out.
Yeah.
Makes you think about how leadership and decision-making work or don't work even outside of politics.
Absolutely. Even in everyday life, we all have to deal with different opinions and priorities.
Yep. Figuring out how to navigate those differences to actually get things done. Well, that's a challenge we all face.
Word.
So thanks for joining us for another deep dive, everybody.
Beep.
And be sure to check out the full article from The Atlantic. It's a wild ride.
It really is.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.